IVF, but of the journey and the lengths that you went to have a baby.
Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and I'm really frustrated. I just cannot receive shortwave very well, and I can't receive long wave at all. Band conditions have just been horrible. We got a little tease about a month ago where the solar flux index went above 100 for a couple of days, and then it crashed down, and it's in the 80s again. And about the only thing I can receive here in Clearwater, Florida, is the Preacher Man channel, and of course he's all over the HF band, and several local, Florida, Cuba, South America, all in Spanish, which I don't understand. So I really wanted to hear the BBC. And of course, I know the BBC is fairly strong in Europe, stations near England, and especially on their long wave broadcast on 198, for instance. So I thought, what the heck, I'm going to cheat. As a last resort, I'm going to go use somebody else's radio on the internet, which is on this Kiwi SDR website. You can tune all these radios. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Where is it? There. You can tune all these radios. Some of them are busy and you can't use, but everything that's in this kind of tan and brown color most likely is available. And I can zoom in here. And so what I did is I want to receive the BBC. So let me pick a station over here someplace. And what I did initially was I just kind of randomly picked a station, that I could receive the BBC on long wave. And it didn't do too good. So what I thought, I'm like, wait a minute. On the Kiwi SDR, they have a listing of the score of the stations, how well they receive. Now, I don't particularly know exactly how the numbers work, but let me show you the numbers. Nope, that's not the numbers. Nope, that's not the numbers. There it is. So you can go to this page, and you go to the main Kiwi SDR page, and this is one of the links. Let me see if I can show that to you, kind of out of order here. And where to go? So down here, there's a whole bunch of links. And one of them is to right here, signal to noise ratio scores. And that's what I'm showing you right here. Nope, not there. Nope, there. So these are scores, and they're 3 different numbers. And I'm a little confused about what the numbers are. Apparently, there's an internal score that the station comes up with, and this is reception. Overall reception, all bands that they will receive. And then there's a new one for HF only, which is what we're interested in. And then there's the external score done by, I guess, the Kiwi SDR website. And so that's what they used to have, but now they have these 2 new ones. They're kind of similar. I prefer to use the external classic, unbiased, I would say. And so you can see these are sorted by the highest number, which is the best, down to the lowest number. So what I did is I quickly just kind of went down here and looked for a high number that was over in Europe. And danged if I can remember which one I chose. That doesn't matter. So I chose one. It seemed like it was in Sweden. Do I see Sweden? Sweden. No, I don't see it. But that's what I chose. So it had a high number, and it was in the area, so I chose it. That's the one I was showing you right here. That's this one right here. This is in Ludvika, Sweden. And he's using a Dissler ARA 30 whip antenna. So he's just using a whip antenna, but he's, over there in Europe. And so here is, although what's strange, it's not marked. This is 198, which is BBC 4, I believe. And it's in his station, as you can see by this waterfall, it's coming in real strong. And I'll turn the audio up for a few seconds.
I think that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I always say that dance is, it's one thing.
So it's doing very well. And this is long wave, which is, there's no long wave in the United States except maybe some beacons, but long wave is still available on certain, it's not certain, many stations. A couple of stations still broadcast on long wave in Europe. And also what you can do, and there's dozens of options with this Kiwi SDR. All these options down here as far as reception type, bandwidth, AGC, squelch, all kinds of things. And so what I did is I selected, over here you can select a band, and I selected long wave. So when I selected long wave, it tuned the radio to the long wave band, which is 0 to like 400 kilohertz. And then I saw these stations and I selected one. And if you right click up here where these information tags are, you can change it. So I changed it to the long wave, medium wave database lookup, thinking that it would give me an indication what this was. It didn't. So we go back to the EIBI, I'll select that. Oh, I didn't get selected. There we go. So it didn't show anything. I don't know how you get back to the original one. I don't know how to get back to the original one, which is different than what it's showing right now. But anyway, and you got DX cluster lookup database, snap to the nearest strong station, I guess that is. Let's just try it. I guess it didn't move because maybe that's, well, no, there's the strong, well, that didn't seem to work. I could be doing this wrong. There's so many options. I didn't find, whoop, there we go. Oh, it went to here. Okay, and we don't want to print it. Oh, it finally went to DX cluster activity. I guess I didn't see, that was right here. Yeah, that was this one right here. So you can see there is many options that you can play with just on this area here. Also, another thing really nice about this Kiwi SDR software is over the years, he's added all these decoders. And I've used the fax, wherever it is. I've used, there it is, the fax decoder. And then I picked a receiver and I tuned it to one of the fax stations, and boom, it decoded it. I'm not going to show you that right now. I mean, I could spend hours and hours showing you all the options and extensions and all this stuff. But the main point I wanted to show you right now is that if you're, and most likely you are, if you're suffering from the lack of reception of shortwave stations in your area, especially us in the United States, here's one way to get around it. Some people would call this cheating. As far as I'm concerned, if I want to listen to a station and I can't get it, this is the workaround. So like I say, I want to listen to the BBC on long wave. I'm getting a perfect signal here. which was this one right here. So I could select that one again, turn the audio back up.
If she wants to know, then I will go along with her. So
Coming in loud and clear.
Why do you not want to know? I feel like you are on it.
And the other thing I wanted to point out that I hadn't shown before is this listing of the signal-to-noise ratio scores for each station. And again, this is sorted by the best at the top, so on down. So, as a matter of fact, if I go way down here, I don't remember how many it scores. I don't know if it scores the six. It looks like it scores all 600. There's over 600 stations on the air right now. It's got scores. Well, it's a couple of them doesn't have scores. It's got scores for all the stations. Now, if I come up here, I think it was about 13 or 14, and I'll show you what I mean if I can find it. Boy, where is it? There's so many. It was either, let's go up here to 14. Okay, so 14 local score is right there. There's Illinois. There's Kansas City, California, Texas, California. Well, I can't find it. I looked it up before, but I can't find it now. But anyway, it was one of the stations that are here in Florida. And it was only scoring, I think, at 13 or 14. So it wasn't too good. And, you know, these numbers will change, of course. And the owner of the station might, you know, put up a different antenna. And I don't know how often these get updated. Let me see if it shows at the top when it was updated last. I think it did. Yes, December 6th. So it gets updated every day. That's cool. That is cool. So that's another thing you can do, which is, you know, a big advantage, is not only just use the map to find a station in the area you want to receive, but also use this page to find a station that has a high score as far as reception is concerned. Now, again, this new number he has now, he has a separate number for HF reception. And like I say, there's internal number, which is scored by the owner of the particular station, and then there's external, which he scores somehow, and I don't know the complicated math involved to make these scores, but they're relative, you know. And like here, here's one in Vermont, USA. Actually, there's two there, and they got very high scores. There's another one in Pennsylvania, another one in Ashley Falls, another one here in PA. So look at, there's lots of stations here in the United States. And what I'd like to do, if I'm just trying to find out whether my reception is just bad compared to other stations, what I like to do is use the map, wherever it went, use the map and find stations near me and listen to them and see how they're receiving stations. And I can even do that while I'm listening to my radio. Now this one, for instance, this one here in Orlando, if you hover over it, it'll give you some details. It will tune from 0 to 30 megahertz. The antenna is a G5RV. That's what I have on one of my setups. It can have up to 4 users simultaneously. There's only one on right now. And then here's the signal to noise ratio score I was trying to find in that database of a 14. And then here's another one. So this one's using a G5RV antenna, good for HF. Here's another one here closer to me. And his score is only at 6, but he's using a disc cone antenna in his attic. So his reception is going to be pretty poor. And then, of course, I'm over here in Clearwater, Florida. So sometimes, if I like, oh, is my radio dead? I'll use one of these, usually this one in Orlando, and see what his reception is on a particular frequency that I've got my radio tuned to. So anyway, there's a lot, like I say, there's a lot of functions. I can get back to it. A lot of functions on this thing now. I could just pop up one of these extensions. Let's do fax. Okay, there it pops up over there. And you can now select where you want to, what fax station you want to hear. For instance, in the United States, I want to hear New Orleans. So here's New Orleans, here's the frequency I operate on. And you just click on the frequency and it tunes that radio, which is, this radio is over in Europe, so it's not going to receive anything. I wonder, since I don't look at them very often, Nova Scotia, trying to see if I could find, like I say, I don't use these other stations, so I'm not familiar with one that it might be able to receive. But anyway, so if I, for instance, if I went back and selected a station, and what I do when I want to do this is I go back here to the map and say I wanted to receive the weather fax from New Orleans, then I'll pick a station here that's close to that area and use him to see how he's receiving it compared to how I'm receiving it. Okay, I've babbled enough. I hope I provided you with some additional information that I haven't mentioned before. I think the main thing that I was going to point out was, if I can find it again, was this page. And like I say, you go to, let me see if I can find it again. That's not it. 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 This page. This is the main Kiwi SDR page. It's kiwisdr.com, and it has a bunch of information and links to all the stuff I've shown you, including the signal to noise ratio scores. That's it. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and have a great day. Bye-bye.